Okay. It says we're live and it's Frisky Friday and we're here
All
again.
righty. Good morning, Patriots, on Frisky Friday.
Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good
Frisky
morning.
Fridays are the best day of the week. Because it's,
Always. We have more fun than any of those other guys. You know,
yeah.
Tony and Chris and Jerome, they all might be more accomplished and smarter and better looking. Well, not better looking than Trixie, but at least
Well,
than me
yeah.
and George. But we have more fun here.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. All right. Well, I'm gonna start out with a prayer, and when I see Sean, I'll pop him in. But what
Great.
it is, it's a word spoken at the right time is like gold apples on a silver tray. A wise correction to a receptive ear is like a gold ring or an ornament of gold. And what it is basically a faith check, and it's the gospel of Jesus Christ is the perfect fruit, appealing to our weary souls and spoken in the right season of our lives. This beautiful message is God's words, fitly spoken, given peace and redemption to weary travelers who find no rest in this world. God's truth releases us from the chains of sin and cradles us in his grace. The apples of gold we share with others are scripture verses that set us free and calm our hearts, wrapped in a setting of silver, which is God's grace embracing us as we speak with all humility and love. So, what it means is sometimes the right word spoken at the right time fits just right into the empty place in your heart. And that kind of goes along with what we do. You know, we like to spread the truth of what's going on in politics and on the right and call out all the ones that are, spreading misinformation and stuff like that. And so I just thought that was kind of timely for us to go in for that. So that.
Amen, Tracy.
Amen.
Trixie.
Oh, boy. Sorry about that.
Okay, so it looks like we're starting to get some people in chat. I see FL for Trump and U.S. Air Crew. Born to Ride 45. Who's that? He's saying
I don't know.
good
Got
morning,
me.
Patriots. And Nene's here. Good
Yeah.
morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's,
I
let's, give
love
it,
Fridays.
let's give it a couple of minutes before we start. We only got 30 people in there. I tell you, it takes a while for the people to get the signal that we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking like this, I'm just going to put out like an apology to everybody for not shutting the stream off yesterday when we were done.
Yeah, that was good.
That was hilarious. I hit
People are
every
saying we're
button
still
except
on.
run. Huh?
I like when they say, you guys are still on.
Yeah, I know, and it didn't register in my head when Red said that. She said, George, you're still on," and I was like, "Yeah, George, you're still on." And then I was like, "Well, how the heck can you still be on if I'm not?" You know, it was like I
Too
don't know
funny.
what I was thinking yesterday, why I didn't do that, but it was pretty funny. But we got enough people in there. We should probably just rip through it here. I'll watch for Sean. I don't know where he is.
Sean should be here pretty soon. He's probably looking for another strip club to park in front of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or Scott got him.
We should start with the good news about Kash Patel being chosen for the FBI director, which is very good. We knew that was going to happen, regardless. What do you call it? And what's the name? The two regs, one from Alaska and one from what's she from Vermont? What's McCloskey? What is
Yeah, Collins.
Oh, yeah,
Collins. Yeah, they both voted again for no. So let's hope that there's a big investigation there with those two morons. The Democrats are up in an uproar because, and you know what's funny? Like we're talking about cash, but what the Democrats are doing, they're freaking out because of. And I was looking at that black woman Crockett.
Oh, yeah, Crockett.
Congressman Crockett from Texas. She was saying that we're not giving back my money. it's her money. All the money they found is her money. So we did a little investigation about the what her net worth is. And we found out that she's like $9 million and she has two townhomes valued at $2.5 million.
Yeah.
So it says the old story goes, rich people telling poor people that rich people are making them poor.
Yeah. And there's Mr. Lucas, I see.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good morning, Sean.
I had to
We're doing well. We're
shift,
doing better now that you're here.
well, I had to shift my studio the last second here, so that's why I'm running a little bit behind.
Well, you're officially the executive producer now, right? In the audio.
I
In
have better
the
audio conditions here. Yeah, I could play some music.
in his acoustically perfect automobile.
Yeah, the sound's good in there. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Apple CarPlay is great.
Yeah.
So I usually do when I'm home. I do it in my office, right? And outside my office is our basement, finished basement, and that's where Mr. Pressler's been staying with us, and he's still sleeping, so I don't want to wake him up. And then
All right,
I go upstairs, and my wife's working from home today, and so she's working from home, and I don't want to mess her up. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I was gonna do it in the bedroom, and it wasn't looking good. So I said, you know what? I'll just come out to the vehicle and do it. So,
how'd you make out with Scott yesterday? Good.
well, it was the night before we had the event in Mercer County, which was really good, and then he had an event last night in Hunterdon County. Both events were great. He's coming back. I know. Well, he's in New Jersey for a long time, and but last night was cool. We were kind of hanging on the couch watching the USA hockey game, and it's a shame they
Oh,
lost.
that sucked. Yeah.
Yep, but it was cool. We were just having conversations about people he met, and we started talking about you, George. And he says, "I know George for." He goes, "I know George for a long time." And he goes, and I know Alan. I said, "Oh, Papa Bear." He goes, "Yeah." So we're talking. You know, it was funny. We're just shooting the breeze, so to say. Last night it was actually fun. I was going to try to do like a little interview and bring it with us today, but it didn't pan out that way. But
We can always do that anyway. But
yeah,
I first met Scott in Florida, down South Florida. We were asked to appear with all the guys, so because he was getting harassed a lot, which we did. But and then I made him put my vest on, and then I should send you a picture of that one. And it's like hanging off of him, and especially one side was hanging lower than the other. And I said, "Hey Scott, just watch this. There's the gun in there."
I remember when you had me put the vest on. I was like, "What the hell's in here?" You go, "That's the gun." I was all right. I'll be careful.
Yeah. So yeah, but he's a hard worker. I mean, the guy really, it's amazing.
Tireless.
And the whole thing is that he's working for the party, but he can't be officially because he's supposed to be nonpartisan. Like they were going to bring him into the GOP that time with Laura Trump and stuff, but then they thought about it, and he has to be bipartisan because of the registration of all he does between the the Democrats and Republicans. Because when he registered them, he never asked them what party they belonged to. So long as they register to vote, as far as he's concerned, the registration is more important than anything. But she has a point there. But when you're in the midst of other MAGA hatters that are around, most of them are going to register Republican, especially if they were Democrat to change the party. But
well, it's funny. I had him come to an event. We put on an event for him a couple of years ago with the his early vote action and everything, and a lot of people. I just felt at the time, which I was a little upset. A lot of people in my area maybe didn't buy into his vision, so to say, and they kind of didn't come and all. And then all of a sudden, here he goes and helps flips Pennsylvania, right? And now everybody's like, "Oh my God, this guy really does know what he's doing." Mm-hmm. And so the events I could see, like at least our event that we put on, there was a lot more energy in this last one than the previous one. I think people see that he really knows what he's doing. Yeah, and and he's
a powerhouse. He's a powerhouse. I mean, it's actually, there's a lot of guys out there that with BS and stuff like that, but the guy is truly the cause and what he stands for. I mean, the guy's outstanding. Even if he works to cut his hair, but
he's got a great app. Everybody in chat should check it out. It's for some reason they're having a little difficulties on Android, he says, but on Apple, if you have an Apple phone or iPhone, I should say, it's called Early Vote Action. Early Vote Action. If you download the app, there's things that you could do to help out in other states. There's text message programs. there's even for your own state, you could pull up like a geolocating thing as you walk around, and you can see like who are registered Republicans in your own state. It's kind of funny. We go for a walk with the dog, and I always pull it up, and I always refresh it to see which one of my neighbors are actually Republican or not.
That's stalking, Sean. That's stalking.
Yeah, it ends up being funny, but it's a cool app. So
yeah. I don't know. I can guess which one of my neighbors. Well, you guys know I have that dedicated CNN one behind me. I still need somebody to come over and help me so I can use the remote and change their channel from outside. I want to do that so bad.
If they have like a Samsung, Trixie, or if you can.
I don't know what they got. I've never been in their house.
Universal remotes and just stand out.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, but I can't.
Fence.
I have to hide behind a tree to do it in my yard so that they can't see me. So I need somebody to look out and make sure the channel's still changing. Because I will. I'll do it. I'll sit there and change that thing all dang day. I've lived here 4 years, and that's all I've ever seen on their TV is CNN. I mean, these people got to be crazy.
Put it on Newsmax and lock it in, and they're probably having a heart attack.
That would be funny. I wish I could. I'd love to do that, but I don't know. I like pranking, but one of the best ones is putting dead fish in somebody's dryer vent. That's a good one.
Oh, that's kind of rough.
Oh my God. Oh,
well, yeah, you can sit like that for a long time, and then when you turn the dryer on and all that heat, oh man, it goes all through your house. That's a rotten one to do to somebody.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be. Woof.
Hey, Trixie. Let's see. They're complaining down in Florida. The USN Air Crew is saying it's only 30 degrees there. Brrr.
Oh, boo-hoo. I feel so sorry for you.
It's 11 when I got up this morning, and I was thinking, wow, that's warm compared to what we've had.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back.
He must be up in North Florida. He must be up north more.
Yeah, I think he's in Pensacola, right?
Oh, yeah, he's up north more. Yeah, that's Pensacola. Yeah, down by I tell you, down by where I am, I'm about an hour and 45 minutes north of Tampa, and we hit 29 degrees.
Ooh.
I mean, all those plants that tropical.
Yeah.
It's the trop is out. Just the call is in there.
George, we haven't hit 29 degrees here in at least a month, maybe 6 weeks.
Oh, Michigan's horrible.
And that's for a high.
Michigan's always cold. Michigan's always cloudy too. You only get sun about 30 days out of the year.
Yeah,
it's 30 degrees right here right now. It's 30 degrees in New Jersey.
Wow.
So, I'd be upset if I went to Florida for vacation and I had cold weather.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice when I was there.
Especially if you took off shorts.
Yeah.
Then you'd be in big trouble.
Hey, but getting into what I think is probably the biggest news of the day, and I'm sure you've all heard about it, but and you probably saw the absolutely disgusting, ghoulish thing that Hamas did when they paraded out the four coffins, 2 of which were little baby boys that they murdered. I think the positive stuff coming out of this is it's enraging the entire world. Now the Israeli ambassador has come out and said that they wholeheartedly back President Trump's resettlement plan for the Gaza Strip, that they got to get these people out of there. They were literally, these so-called innocent civilians were out there. It was a party atmosphere as they paraded those 4 caskets by.
Yeah, you're right about the cameras and stuff that they have. The whole thing is you cannot. That is pure evil, and the only way to destroy it, you have to destroy it. There's no other way. Yeah. That Hamas has got to be done with. It doesn't matter because what they did, Israel was honored enough to release some of the worst of their worst of the Palestinian Hamas group out there, and plus when they were doing all these videos of everything with releasing the Israeli prisoners and the American prisoners, is that it was a recruiting factor, and they had 150,000 people join them. So I mean, this has got to be, and Trump was going to do what he wanted to do, but Netanyahu and because of the party that's in there that fights him all the time,
They're more like the liberal party, right?
Yeah,
They're more like the libs over
Yeah.
here.
and they always fight him about the thing and about it's his fault that October 7th happened. And um, the problem is that I think he's the one that told Trump, let's hold back. And I think now the gloves are off now because the way they, especially what they did to the women, they got those AK-47s and put it someplace where it wasn't supposed to go, and right through the head. I mean, they devastated. And I know a lot of, we
Horrific.
Alan Papa Bear knows some of those guys that are in the IDF stuff and everything else. So there's communication between them too. So
That's
yeah,
horrific.
it's unbelievable.
And George, if you saw the pictures, I mean, they're in the media this morning. If you saw the pictures of those two little boys, I mean, one was, I think, 10 months old and the other 4 years old.
Yeah.
I've seen some conflicting stuff. Something else said they were 5 and 2. But anyway, I mean, at that age, you're not even capable of being anything but purely innocent. I'm looking at these two little kids,
Yeah.
and after doing a forensic study, Hamas claims, oh, they were killed in an airstrike or something, but the Israelis have already done a forensic study and said that they know conclusively that these little boys were murdered, and they won't, for good reason, because there's still family members out there. They won't mention the exact, details of how they were murdered, but they say that they were definitely murdered. They even know when it was. They were murdered in December of 2023, and apparently it was in a really, horrendous way.
Well, the situation, the thing is that they believe, and Iran believes, and Muslim majority of Muslims believe, if you follow the Quran, I don't know if everybody. I got one of those books and I was looking at it before I put it on fire. I slept with that. Sorry about that. We did the Palestinian flag. Oh, I slept with that one too. I did. But the whole thing is, if they destroy Israel and the Jewish people, they believe that Muhammad's coming back.
Yeah.
That's what they're about. Their pride, and he was the biggest. He was the biggest pedophile and everything else. I mean, Muhammad, but they don't want to face that fact. And you go back between what happened was how they were created was the 12 tribes of Israel. But when Abraham didn't listen to God about a son, and then he used a concubine to have the baby with the woman, the child, when he was blessed with a boy with his regular wife, he banned that son, and that's how that all started. Believe it or not, with the Palestinians and all that stuff. There's a lot of history that people don't know how all the stuff started. But this is, I talk for hours with everything that's going on.
Well, they have a intellectual problem over there too, because of the way they are and so grouped together. There's a lot of intermarriage.
Yeah,
and a lot of cousins, and this is a fact. Their IQ is really low.
Well,
it's across the board. So
that's how they got control. That's the only way they could keep control.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds horrible, but that's why, what's her name? Ilhan Omar, she married her brother with no hesitation to get him over here. They don't think anything of that, but they're all intermarried. And I've read a lot of articles on that about, like in, we want to say Gaza and stuff. And that's why some of them are so violent and everything too, is because of their gene pool is so tight that there's a lot of mental instability and stuff. And so it's really easy to lead them,
Well, plus, Trixie, you look at it, and we've been seeing this for the last many decades. You look at, they're dressing up these little 12-month-old boys, putting them in jihadi uniforms and having them practice. I've seen it where they were showing a preschool where, here in the United States, the preschool kids are painting things and learning how to do this and that. And they're teaching, they literally have people dressed up as Jews, and they have them, stabbing them with bayonets and stuff. At the earliest age. So
I think it came
they do
I'm
assessment.
not mistaken, the Nazis were working with the Muslims during
Yep.
World War
World
II
War
and everything.
correct, yep.
And that's why they do that with the little kids, because in Germany they were doing that and it looked like a good model, so they took
Hitler
it over
Youth,
there.
yeah.
But it's a shame because those kids, from the time they're born, they're indoctrinated and brainwashed, and I don't think you can ever get that out of somebody if they've been born that way. I really
And
don't.
that's why President Trump's so brilliant to say, you notice he didn't say, we're going to resettle them and give them a land that they can call Palestine. No, he's saying we're going to ship some of them to Egypt. We're going to ship some to Saudi Arabia. And my good buddy, the king of Jordan, he's going to take some in. I mean, Jordan, if there is such a thing as Palestine, which I think historically, if you research it, you'll find that there really isn't. But if there was such a thing as Palestine, it's in Jordan. It's not in Israel.
Yeah, well, we go back to time of David with the Palestine. That's where they got everything from. But they were a combination of Egyptians and Jordan and Turks and everything else, and that's how they formed what they became as, But we got some good news as we were talking about Kash Patel. That's good news that's happening. That he's going to be the FBI director.
Oh, I'm going to bring that up while you're saying that.
And
I think Trixie's got live video.
Oh, there we go.
There's these on the bike. John, I've got that one you sent me, and I don't know if it's going to work if I bring it up, but I'm going to try when we get later in.
Yeah, he's got the vest on too. You see it?
Yeah.
So he's a pretty. Let me tell you something. I had a long conversation with him, and
there he is with the shirt.
They're in that government gangster book is excellent. If you want to buy it, you can buy it online. But let me tell you something. He's going to go bat out of hell, boy. It's going to be unbelievable what he's going to do with that FBI organization. Yeah. And he's a true, honest patriot. He loves Trump. Always defended Trump, and loyal to Trump. So Trump's not going to have any problems with him at all.
Let's see if we can. I want to see if I can bring that clip in that Sean sent me. I don't know. I don't think I can.
It was the panic in the FBI office.
Yeah, I got it here, but I don't. Let me try. No.
CYN Clower is asking if there's any photos of Kash being sworn in. I'm sure there are, but
it's got to be done.
Have any queued up.
It's got to be done by
I can't.
J.D. Vance.
I think it's done today, doesn't it?
Yeah, today. Either that or the judge. I think
I'll show
Vance.
my one photo of Kash that I was just showing the folks before this.
Oh, look at that! Nice.
That was down in Nashville at John Rich's Red Nick Riviera, and I actually got the opportunity to drink a beer with him. This guy is so not only a great patriot and everything, but he likes to drink beer, which that's all I got to know. He's a good guy.
Good thing you didn't mention that before the confirmation hearing. That would have gave something else to bitch about, right?
Tracy, you didn't have that other picture of what Ed Henry and everybody else with that. I thought you sent you that photo too.
Oh yeah, but I didn't know you wanted that one up.
I can put that on. Show that.
Throw it up there.
I can't get it now. Just like Sean's, I want to put that one Sean got, but I don't know. You have to download it and turn it over into an MP4.
That's the photo they talked about when Adam Schiff said, "Well, you took a photo with Laura Loomer," told Kash Patel, and it's the photo that we took at that event. So it was funny that they used that photo for the questioning to Kash Patel at the hearing, the first hearing he had. But McConnell, believe it or not, McConnell voted yes for Kash, which made
somebody must have gotten to him.
Yeah, well, he's going to be around to 2027, which maybe a building will fall on him or something before then. So you know what the problem is? He holds the power of the purse.
Yeah.
He holds the military budget in his hand. He has a lot of power, and that's why all the senators came to him. But the biggest power is going to be, as Musk said, that if they're out of line and don't do what President Trump says, he's going to put millions to their opponents that'll go against them. And the first one he's going to do, and he made it known, is the one in Alaska and the one in Vermont. He's going to go after those two seats.
Yeah,
We got to get
Murkowski
some
and
Republicans.
Well,
Collins.
Murkowski, I just can't believe Murkowski. The Collins I can understand because she's in a mixed, in a mixed bag there. But Murkowski, what's it? She won by 30 points with Republicans and all because, or Trump won by 30 points, I should say.
But George, she cheated. She got that ranked choice
Well, the
voting
ranked choice
bullshit in there.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying. You see that your constituents overwhelmingly voted for Trump, right? You should be with him. That's my whole point, and she's not, and that's what's it's so troubling.
That's the problem. That's the problem we have throughout the United States of the rhinos. I mean, you got what do you call Causey brought up a thing about one of the guys that were running down here, Rocky Rockford. They actually found discrepancy in the election and stuff about how the mail-in ballots came in, and the Democrat got the seat. He should have got the seat. We did a lot of rallies with him. We brought a whole bunch of bikers doing his rallies with him because of the neighborhoods he was going in, and they liked him, especially the Cuban community went crazy for him. They were all at his rallies and stuff. So about the loss that he had, they found out that was cheating, and there's a big investigation. In fact, the what's his name? The one, the lawyer that went to school with Trump at the West Point. Nick, what's his name? I can't remember his name. I should write these things down. He's
You have to have a long piece of paper for all the things you've been involved with.
Oh yeah.
Like a toilet roll, like a roll.
I thought he was brownie paper towels. Tell me, boy, who did? Oh yeah, well, you still have that girl. What's her name? Tina Peters. That's in Colorado. The J6. She's still in there. And there's 6 of them that are in prison because of the local, and that's what Cash is going to help out with. Once he releases the files of all the bullshit files
Well, we want the Epstein list. That's what I want to see. The Epstein list, and I want the slush fund list.
We gotta get the J6s first. The J6s are the most important.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying after that, I want the slush fund list.
Well, you want to do the J6s first because if you come out with the Epstein list, you got to interrupt all the senators and congressmen of the Republican and Democratic Party who's on that list. So there's a lot of important people on those lists. So,
but still, we need the slush fund list though, because everybody's taking money out of that, and that's not right. And if they're going to give us some money back off of what they save off of Doge, I mean, how much money that they should add that back in too.
Look what Crocker said. Crocker, that congresswoman, that black congresswoman, that said claiming that all the white supremacy.
Yeah, what'd she say? 5,000 isn't that much or something like that.
Well, she said, no, I don't want to get no. She said she doesn't want to give up her money to the $5,000. Her money. It's outside the Congress. She's doing pretty good. I mean, she's a millionaire. She's got her net worth is $9 million. She owns 2 townhouses, $2.5 million each. You got to invest in
rich in Congress. Every
unbelievable. Yeah, well, all these kickbacks is a lot of money that they were getting back.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's at a $174,000 a year salary, and they should. And with all the money they find in Social Security, they should give the people a raise in Social Security.
Yeah, they should reconfigure. They should reconfigure the brackets for Social Security. You're damn right they should. Especially as much as they've been stealing out of there and saying that we don't have the money, it's going to go broke, and find out they're giving it all to illegals. That's BS.
I'm surprised the Democrats. Surprised the Democrats didn't say, this poor woman that's 160 years old, she's not going to get her Social Security check because of the investing.
Trixie, how can you be taking money away from people that are 130, 140, 150 years old? I mean, you have no
3 million people.
How can you take
heartless?
3 million people.
They're heartless.
Yeah.
3 million people. The average age from 139, 150. There's a total of 3,157,000 people that are getting Social Security checks.
Yeah, there's more people than there are.
Can you imagine,
George? You have things like you were mentioning the congressional salary of $174,000 a year. Remember when that little bartender from Manhattan or wherever, AOC, the first thing she was doing when she got there 6 or 7 years ago, she was complaining that on that $174,000 salary, she couldn't even rent an apartment in Washington, D.C. And so now she's been there long enough to have taken in salary maybe a little over $1 million, but that all had to go out to rent those apartments. It's kind of interesting that all of a sudden she's worth $18 million.
Yep.
Huh. How's that work out?
I think there's money trees in her backyard. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she found
that must be it. Yeah.
Hey,
I read that $18 million though. That
DC's real estate's taking a hit. Everybody's selling their homes.
Yeah, you can get a mansion on the cheap now. You can go get a mansion on the cheap. They're going to have a fire sale pretty soon.
They interviewed some of the protesters.
And it's going to keep going down.
They asked these protesters, "Are you getting affected by this?" And a lot of them said no. So why are you there?
Yeah.
Because they're getting paid to go there. These are all.
Yeah, but where are they getting the money now? U.S. aid is under audit, so they're not getting that.
Got money from Soros.
Man, USAID.
Somebody said that money hasn't really, like, a lot of that money has been like allocated, hasn't even gone out yet too. So I don't know if that factors into some of this, but you know, there's so much money that's out there that's been in the stream for a while.
Yeah.
That even cutting it off right now, I don't think is ending everything, because there's been so much money in that stream, you know, and we're only
including. I got to point out, and I love this. That you wonder who could possibly come up with this crap. You notice how much of USAID is focused on sexual deviance. I mean, or homosexuality, transsexual. Drag queens and all this. And one of the things that, and this is straight from President Trump's mouth, he said that they found a $100 million grant for condoms for Hamas fighters.
Yeah.
Okay. 100 million for condoms for Hamas. Obviously that wasn't going to condoms.
No, that was the bomb thing.
Even if they have 100,000 fighters, that would be $1,000 a piece for condoms. But I guess they're raping enough little Israeli hostages and little boys that, maybe they need that.
Well, they're making bombs with them, is what they were doing.
But that's our taxpayer money. Can you imagine somebody somewhere in Washington, D.C. had to sit there and say, okay, $100 million to give condoms to these terrorists? Well,
they put tampons in men's bathrooms. Boys. I mean, what the hell?
But I mean,
condoms, tampons. I mean, they've got a thing for I don't want to say it. I won't say it. I'm just going to keep it quiet.
It's Frisky Friday.
It's Frisky Friday. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
No, it's just they're all degenerates. Stop and think about it. Everything that they fight for is based on sex. They don't fight for anything that would better your family or anything. Everything that the hill they die on comes down to sex every single time. That's just my opinion, but
it's very good. Well, very good point. Very good point.
Well, you must have noticed, Trixie. I know you spent a lot of time on K Street and in Washington D.C. back when you were in the pharmaceutical business. You had to have noticed the disproportionate number of young homosexual males in Washington D.C. I mean, I did when I used to have to go there when I in another life I actually worked for U.S. Customs, and I used to go to Washington D.C. on a regular basis. And man, all I'd want to do is go out and get a pizza and a beer. And I had these little femboys trying to pick me up almost every time I went into a bar in Washington D.C. Unfortunately, it wasn't the same way with beautiful young women. But
I stayed by the Pentagon a lot over on the other side of the Potomac in Crystal City.
Yeah, Crystal City.
The only problem I had was Asian or Arab contractors. I would get followed a lot, so I never would go outside of the hotel unless I had somebody with me. I would stay because you hear about that trafficking stuff, and the Arabs. I'm not generalizing, but I'm saying a couple experiences I had. They don't leave you alone. I mean, I got followed, and they kept asking me out to dinner, followed me on the elevator and everything. I had to get off the elevator and go back to the hotel lobby. And I know they were from the Pentagon because they had the badges. So they weren't, they weren't American Arabs. They were here training for something. But I don't know what. But that'll give you the spooks. You don't like. I didn't like that. But
Well,
so
that's why they sent all those condoms, because they were protecting the goats. So now they got to.
Yeah.
It's funny you talk about that sex trafficking. I sent a video to my daughter. My daughter's 20 years old. That I came across on X about, like, they're put maybe like a $20 bill, and then some type of laced drug.
Right,
I guess it gets in your bloodstream when you touch the money or whatever, and maybe you pass out, and then they get you. But you gotta be so careful. You hear about these stories. They put something on a window, like maybe and then you get in your car, you see something on your window, and you get out to get it, and then they're pulling up alongside of you or what have you. So you just gotta be careful today. You gotta let people know to be careful. Keep your head on a swivel.
Especially there's that one too, a sniffing perfume that they do. You have to be careful. They'll put spray perfume like on a card and come up to you and say, "Here, we're selling this. Do you want to smell it?" And you take one whiff and you're out. I mean, you don't.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one that was going around too.
I want to mention something about CPAC. Yesterday, John Lang paid for a lot of people of the J6s to be there.
Yeah.
And they were actually thrown out of it, the place. Yeah. There was some situation with CPAC, and but as far as last night, they were all brought back in. There was a comment made in the chat about it. They were brought in back. With Rose and everything. Rose was the guy that was in charge of the oak keepers, and Jay Lang was part of the. I think the Proud Boys, and they did a whole big. They paid for a lot of J6s to fly in to CPAC and pay for their tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
And also they paid for a booth for $2,500 to have a booth there, and they made him get thrown out the day before yesterday. So, but last night they all went back in just to let everybody know in the chat, because there was a big thing about it on X with Ann Vandersteel, that she came out with it, that it was a shame. And you go back, and the reason why, there's a lot of Republicans that are afraid to be amongst J6s or the Proud Boys or the Oak Keepers, because the simple reason is they think it's going to hurt them in their election. I always have them. Every time I speak at places, I'll introduce them. I really don't care. But the rhinos are the ones that are mostly doing that. If they won't allow them to come in and speak and stuff like that. So it's shameful because of what they did, what they believed in, which was right, to protect the Constitution, and because they were accused on false charges, and plus they served their time anyway.
Yeah,
they didn't kill anybody. So
there's rhinos there at CPAC. We know that. There's always going to be, there's only, I don't know. I think it's a good thing that they do CPAC, and I'm sorry they kicked them out. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
and even if you don't like the slaps,
right,
I think CPAC is a good thing.
There's rhinos all over. We have rhinos in the Senate. We have rhinos in the House. We have rhinos in CPAC.
We got more rhinos than there
are.
We got
them all over the place. We're like a petting zoo.
It's the enemy within.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I think nobody could help move them out as well as President Trump's doing. I mean, thank God for President Trump.
Let me give you an example. I don't know if I brought this up before. In the county I'm in, I endorsed this black guy. His name was Marvin, and he was a fireman, but he was a Bernie supporter, but decided to go back and found out the truth, and he decided to follow Trump. So what happens is, all of a sudden, I endorsed him. And I got phone calls from the Republican Party why I endorsed this guy. And I told him the guy's a constitutionalist, and he proved to me who he is. So he was running against this other guy that was a rhino that hated Trump, all of a sudden decided to become loving Trump. And it was a county commissioner's job. And the millions that they put in on the commercials against this guy was unbelievable, okay? And they spent millions, not thousands, millions of dollars to put this guy down. So it goes to show you that the rhinos want to protect their spots instead of doing what they're supposed to do and put grassroots people in there to protect our Constitution. And the whole thing is, you're talking about the building that's happening down in Florida, the money that's getting kicked back by the real estate people, the builders and stuff. It's big. I mean, you got Deb Webb coming in there. The villages are big. They've been there for a long time, but you got all these people that are coming in, and it's a lot of money. So again, we go back around about the money. So we have to get these people in that are true for the cause, constitutional republic candidates, grassroots, that will do the right thing and follow the procedures of what's right for this country. Same thing in Jersey, every state, and what they're doing is they got these RECs. You know what RECs are? Republican elected chairs that have everyone in every county.
Yeah.
And what happens is they're stopping MAGA people from joining the organizations.
Yeah,
that's how they're afraid of the MAGA movement.
See, our local is real good.
That goes back to that. What was the guy's name? The precinct movement. I met him at Benny's one time when we were down there in Florida. The precinct movement.
Oh, I remember that.
He used to be on Bannon all the time.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But anyway, that's important because there's so many precinct seats, your district seats, and everybody's local that aren't filled. That's how I got involved locally. But people should check out in their area and see. And also, sometimes not every one of these township chairs are anti-MAGA. Some of them are either full MAGA, or some of them are kind of like common sense. But every one of those township chairs, even if your area is filled for committee people, they have discretionary picks they could put on there too. So if people want to get involved, they should reach out to their township municipal chairs.
Well, they got what do you call it? They got MAGA clubs, they got Trump clubs. People could do that. You could still go and challenge, because the whole thing is, once you belong to that Republican Party, you gotta, and they have the primary. You can't endorse a candidate unless after they win the primary. And I found this out because they tried to tell me this.
Yeah.
I said, you can't tell me who. If I believe one guy's better than the other guy in the primary, I'm going to endorse that guy. Why are you going to tell me that because I don't belong to the Republican? I don't belong to these organizations that it is, that are out there, because I belong to the Trump club or MAGA club or something like that. Or there's the Republic Liberty Caucus, which has nothing to do with the Republican Party, and they're a grassroots organization that actually vets candidates before they endorse them, and you don't have to worry about the primary. That's the big thing, and people must understand that, even in our chat and everything else, of who they have to see and who they should put in there, because it's all about the money. The more money you got, the more money you're getting in.
Yeah,
and true fact.
Money drives everything, without a doubt.
They'll destroy you. They'll destroy you like you wouldn't believe it. And I saw what they did to this guy. It's shameful of what they did, And we got to stop being on the defense and being offense. We got to get in these people's faces. Go to their homes. I'll go to their houses. I'll knock on their doors. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'll come up there with a whole bunch of bikers, go 3 o'clock in the morning, just rub the bikes, go around the neighborhood. Sorry, you have a kid. Too bad.
George, you'll pull up with Cash Patel on your bike at this point.
Right?
There we go. That'll get some attention.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it before.
See who his first victim is. Who Cash is going to go after first.
I hope it's. How about what's her name? Rashida Tlaib, who married her brother, or whichever one it was.
Oh, Ilhan Omar,
But see,
Ilhan.
It's not really about him going after people. It's about him doing justice.
It's
doing
justice,
Sean. Right? It's justice because the other side went after people, right? We saw 4 years of people going after people. They went after people praying at abortion clinics. They went after moms going to their school board meeting. Mm-hmm. They went after President Trump. I mean, that was going after people. We need justice, and we need we need to cleanse this, and we really need justice, because I don't think it's us going after them. I think it's us justice.
I'll clear it up then. I'll say, who's the first person who's going to pay for the consequences of their actions?
There you go. I love
Exactly,
that. There you go.
perfect. But
I love
Sean,
that.
I think you make an incredibly good point. And
Yep, I
when we
agree.
talk about going after people, we almost fall into the left hands there.
Yep. Yep.
But I gotta say one thing about going after, because I just want to make a prediction right now. Um, in light of what happened in Gaza with that just gruesome ceremony they did on the stage
Oh,
yesterday,
horrific.
and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with the 6 live hostages that are supposed to be released. But mark my words, President Trump is not going to. President Trump last week said all hell's going to break loose unless you release all these hostages. And you know what? All hell is going to break loose. I'm
There's those
telling you right
balls.
now, this is a done deal. President Trump is not just sitting there saying, "Oh, these little worms just totally disrespected me and didn't listen to a word I said," and they send these little dead, murdered bodies out. And oh, by the way, those kids' mother that was supposed to be one of the bodies, that wasn't her.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
they did
Yeah,
DNA. That they gave somebody that they don't even think it's an Israeli at all, but they know it's not one of the hostages. So, they're going back on this. President Trump said that all hell's going to break
you
loose. And
know,
guess what? I'm predicting it right now. It might be today, might be tomorrow, but I'm guessing
the thing
within the
is very
next.
important. The thing is very important is Trump knows where they live, and
Exactly.
they don't live in the Gaza Strip. They're not there at
And
all. They're
yep,
they're either in Qatar or they're either in oh, what the hell's the other one? Dubai. He'll go
yep,
right to Trump's very good in real estate, so he knows exactly where they live. I mean, we have
yeah.
technology that'll hit them directly where they are, and
We,
he's
we got
I still
George.
I
We
still
got
don't
the technology. We got the armed forces, and we got the leader who
yeah,
will make it happen.
the breast balls. Yep.
I still just don't understand this concept of drip, 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 meaning two people come out today,
Mhm.
3 days, three people come out tomorrow,
It's
six
because of the
people
party in
tomorrow.
Israel.
It's just I just don't understand how, like, if you're going to release them, you release them. They're
Yep.
playing games. They really are.
And that's their MO for many years, and that's why they got to be eliminated. Period.
Exactly.
Because they're not.
Exterminated.
There's no way in the world of what they're doing. They want to play this game because they know they have the wonderful Democrats on their side because of the communist, Muslim lovers, Jew haters that they are. The majority of the Democrats. I mean, even the ones that are Jewish hate their own people. You got Schumer, you got Rasnick, you got all them people that just don't follow who they're supposed to believe in and everything else, and they feel they have that protection. That's what they feel, but they're
Yeah.
wrong because President Trump is the president, and he is the commander, and he's going to do what he wants to do. He don't give a shit about them other morons that are there. They could cry. They're crying now about Cash Patel. They're crying now about Pam Bondi. They're crying all about all of them. The whole cabinet. They're complaining because they know what the consequences are going to be.
George, they're crying about getting $5,000 back.
Yeah, I know. It's her money.
It's coming from
It's
Trump.
her money. She said it's her money. This is what this is, and then Netanyahu's got the same problem over there. You got other morons in Israel that defend the Palestinians. It's just unbelievable what they they do, and he's got a fighting. We don't. Trump doesn't have that problem now, but Netanyahu does have that problem.
Yeah. And
Netanyahu,
sadly, George, and ironically, the 85-year-old man whose body was returned, this guy was a well-known, in quotes, peace activist, and he spent most of his time helping Palestinian children, feeding them, getting them medical stuff. So this guy was working for the Palestinians, with the best at heart, but he was a peace activist, and he was actually out there helping Palestinian children, and so they murder him. I mean,
like
that's all you got to know.
They say, like, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Not
Yep.
Hamas. Hamas is a certain animal, and the Hezbollah, and the Houthis and all them other pieces of shits that are run by Iran, which Iran should be taken out. And the best way they were being taken out is the way Trump did it in the first term when he destroyed them financially, cut them by the knees. But they have to destroy them because they'll do everything to push that nuclear bomb to destroy Israel. And what's going to happen is Israel's going to take them out. And that's what they all got to be done. Once you take out the money, like the whole, who is that? Like Ukraine. Oh, we're going to fight. Oh, we're going to get European to help us out. They had a big meeting there, Macaroni there. What's his name? With his
Macron.
Wife, yeah.
Macaroni. I like macaroni.
Macaroni because his name's not even useless. And he's having a meeting with all the Europeans about how they're going to get back at Trump. The guy's an idiot. The guy's just an idiot. They don't understand.
George, I heard they had to bring in a whole pallet of Kleenex for that.
Please. It's just...
Maybe two.
Let me tell you something. When Trump spoke to Davos, he did not have the American flag behind him. He had the sign of the Republic behind him.
Yep.
Okay?
And the seal of the President of the United States.
And that was the message. That was the message to them. And that's why they were sitting back a little bit. And then Vance smacked them around when he went there to speak to them.
Made them cry.
Oh yeah, they were all upset. I mean, it's just, but people have to understand and pay attention to everything that's being done now because this is what's going to cure. You know, we didn't pay taxes till after 1913. We were rich just on the tariffs.
Yeah.
And I predict that we're not going to be paying taxes. It'll take a while, but I got a feeling flat tax is going to happen. But senior citizens shouldn't pay that. Senior citizens shouldn't even pay school taxes. A person that's retired, there's no responsibility for him to pay school taxes in their taxes because they don't have kids going to school.
Exactly.
Well, that's what the problem. That's what the problem is in New Jersey. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, how much taxes you paying? 15,000, 18,000?
Well, my house now.
The largest portion of my property taxes go to the school district.
Yeah, my son's
I think
paying
that's the case with pretty much everybody.
My son's paying 15,000 a year for taxes, school taxes.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Adam Schiff. I don't know.
Pencil neck Adam Schiff. Oh, he's so wonderful.
I want him to face some consequences.
Oh,
I think
he's on the list.
one of the first ones to go.
He's on that list. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, he was so nervous. He was out front bitching about cash yesterday morning, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Him and four other pieces of garbage.
When Cash was speaking at a podcast, he says, about the Russia. Who was complaining about the Russia all the time?
Yeah. Well, Schiff came out. He's lied. Well, they're allowed to, but he's come out and lied. He's the one that was pushing everything. And I think if Cash is going to make an example out of anybody, I think one of the first people should be Adam Schiff or Liz Cheney. That's my opinion.
You're 100% right. He used to be a.
I think justice does need to find. Yeah, justice does need to find those two. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think, if he's going to make an example out of anybody, one of those two should be one of the first ones.
Yeah.
For Cheney for destroying everything from the January 6th commission and that kind of stuff too, but then Schiff for the Russia hoax, but then he's got all that stuff with the Standard Hotel in his background and everything too. And I think that's probably a lot besides the Russia. I think that's why he's panicking so much because there was a lot of money. I know they said he's one of them that took money out of that slush fund to pay off for that Standard Hotel death thing. But that's allegedly. I can't say.
He looks like a pedophile. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I wonder how many little boys he had to pay off to keep him quiet.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me with him. Just by looking at him, you could see those vibes. Let's just say
he hung around with Ed Buck too, and I mean that's what Ed Buck did.
But just that January 6th stuff, the evidence and I always say they destroyed exculpatory evidence that would free people, and they destroyed it. I mean, that's a crime. You try to make somebody look more guilty, and there's exculpatory evidence, and you destroy it.
Yeah,
that's not even forgivable in my opinion.
There's backups, Sean.
Crime of the worst magnitude, Sean. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, but who was the one guy too? Benny, that was on that panel.
Yeah, the one that was in charge of the chair.
I think so. He's the one. It was him and
Yes.
Cheney and Kitzinger, the ones that were destroying and everything. But then because Cheney even got that, what is it? What's her name? Cassidy, to lie about the limo. Remember?
Oh, that
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
Yeah, she
There
wrote
was
a
that
book
phone
on
call
it.
that she told the truth, and then there was a
she
phone
don't put-
call, and then she said Trump tried to grab the wheel of the limo and take it over and everything. So, they should have to pay for that because that cost us a lot of money and a lot of time.
Well, they
Well,
said that she's got to be prosecuted because of the simple reason.
It's treason.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I hope so, because it's such low-hanging fruit. Is this idiot said she grabbed the wheel, and first of all the Secret Service will testify that's not true. But
Yeah.
secondly, there's a big glass,
Yeah.
barrier that he could not
You know how
physically
much
do
room is
that.
between? Did you see how much
impossible.
room is in? Do you ever see the inside of that thing? How big it is? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go online and look at it. I mean, it's just.
Oh, you could probably house like 3 or 4 illegal alien families inside there and still have room to drive the
The
president.
doors
around.
are the doors got to be this thick, right? Like
Yeah.
like a
I
body.
probably couldn't even shut the door.
Watch, you ever see how the guy opens and shuts the door? He always has his hand on the top and the hand on the
Yeah,
side.
I wouldn't even be able to do
Yeah,
it.
because it weighs like 500 pounds.
You know who else I want to see get theirs? Eric Swalwell.
Oh,
For the
Fort Man.
Chinese spy.
His
And
parents of
Fort Man.
Republicans.
I'd love to see
I
him
just
get
got to
some.
say, I got to thank FL for Trump because he's asking everybody to jump out of chat just briefly and hit that like button.
No, thank you.
And
Yes.
I'm not hitting it.
I will say, yeah, hit the like
thumbs up.
button and
Okay, then I'm going to
thanks,
say
Greg.
this real quick. Happy birthday, Eric. My baby's going to Vegas. It's his birthday. So that was the
Happy
last.
birthday, Eric.
How
I'm not
old?
Hey,
done how
happy
old he
birthday,
is.
Eric.
You got to tell us how old he is. You brought it up. It's his birthday. You have to say.
You really want to know? My baby turned 40. I can't believe it. I'm about
Wow.
ready to croak.
Wow.
Wow.
my
So
youngest
you were
one.
having children in your teens, huh?
No, I was
Had to be.
20, 21, and
She
22.
started
No,
at 16.
I'm thinking more like 14, 15.
No, I didn't do that. No. I did backwards. I started college, had my kids, and then went back and finished. But that way I was younger when they grew
Well,
up.
that's awesome that you went back and finished. That's
Well,
that's
yeah,
great.
I had to. I mean,
Yeah.
I was still going when I was having my kids, but it took, it was after they were born and everything before I finished. But I just wanted to say
And-
happy birthday to him because he's leaving for Las Vegas, and I
Hopefully Eric can see the
Good
chat
luck at the
too,
table.
because he's getting a crescendo of happy birthdays coming in from everybody.
Mm.
I know, like low countries, her mom gets only $1,400 a month Social Security,
Wow. Yeah.
and they wanted an $84,000 raise. Congress, believe that, and they only got
And
a
they want-
2.5% Social Security raise.
And we're worried about sending money for nonsense stuff. This should be the priority of all this the Doge stuff now is to get that money in, all this crazy money, and get it into Social Security, because giving people $1,400 a month after they worked their whole life and everything else, I don't know. I think it's a sin too.
Yeah, spot on, Sean.
They should be getting a lot more.
Yeah, you're
Absolutely right.
Well, we're doing okay taking care of Ukraine. We're paying for their pensions and
Yep.
police department and all this other shit.
That makes you sick too.
Right?
Makes you sick because look at how we could use that money here. There wouldn't be any homeless vets or anything, but they don't give a crap.
They're missing $102 billion. They can't count for $102 billion.
Before we end, did you see yesterday with Trump, with Tiger Woods up on stage and everything?
Yeah.
I just gotta say something he said, which I thought was funny. I don't know if it was when Tiger was up, but when he mentioned, and I'm sure the left's got to be going crazy with the dictator comments already. But he said something about, should I run again? And right, and I mean, I just thought that was classic Trump trolling the people. I've been looking around to see where these people are going to start going crazy with this.
No, soon they're going to say that he wants to become king. That'll be the new thing. It's
Well,
good to be
did you see when he did the executive order to cancel Kathy Hochul's
Yes.
tax on driving into Manhattan? He ended up with "Long live the king."
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I like that. Long live the king.
People that you had
world-class troll.
transportation. all the people that were behind her, that were cheering, don't use that transportation at all. They're forcing people to use the most dangerous, subway system in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what they wanted to use.
Yeah. That was great. That was awesome.
Hey, well, Trixie, I hate to say it, but I'm seeing 10 o'clock on my
Yeah.
on my screen here.
Johnson better get on board.
Was something supposed to happen at 10?
So let me just be the first to say thank you to all the great patriots that are watching this. God bless y'all. God bless America, and God bless President Trump.
Yeah.
Let's share. We
And
gotta
thanks
get
for
out there. We
watching
gotta
us
get
on
the word out.
Fridays. We're glad you're here.
We're going out to a Trump dance, everybody. I got the song queued up for us.
Oh,
All
cool.
All
Okay,
right,
so
so you let me know when I hit it.
Yeah, go.
I just got to remember to hit the end stream button at the end. So we don't want to do that again. Okay.
There we go.
Say
Hey,
goodbye.
Hit it,
DJ
Sean.
Sean.
See you guys next
Wait,
week.
we need our exit music.
Whatever.
Oh, I turned it off. I'm sorry. I hit it off.
You want me to do it?
There it is, back. All right, Mark.
Yeah.
We're all here.
I'll do the golf swing. Come on, you gotta do the golf swing.
Hit the end button.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.